carried it, but like I don't think that I don't think that works the same way it does in like Elden Ring. Why is Israel allowed to have nukes, but Iran can't? Because Israel's on our side and Iran's not. I mean, that's really the answer. Like, Israel denies IAEA inspections and refuses to sign the United Nations Non-Proliferation Treaty. Iran has. I also think, by the way, I don't think we should let them do that. I think we should force them to either come to an agreement or at least come to some form of capitulation, right? Like, I agree with that, too. Yeah, Iran's a terrorist state? Yeah, sure. Also, Israel doesn't threaten anybody with nukes? Well, I don't think anybody... It's the best case scenario is that Israel and Iran don't have nukes. That's the best case scenario. Does anybody disagree with that? Right, obviously. Obviously that is. Broken record? Yeah, you're right. Let's move on.
Speaking to some experts yesterday, worsen the hardline nature of what Iran seeks. But it's the nature of the targets that Israel is openly talking about striking now that gives you some idea how far down a target list they necessarily are. Hitting the Arak heavy water facility, look, that's something which many experts believed was no longer involved in any potential chase of a nuclear weapon. Yes, it could have been involved in the creation of plutonium, giving another path toward the bomb, but ultimately...
Israel needs the nuke, they're the only democracy over there. If Israel needs a nuke, then Saudi Arabia needs a nuke. And if Saudi Arabia needs a nuke, then Iran needs a nuke. And if Iran needs a nuke, then maybe Qatar needs a nuke. And then now everybody needs a nuke. Like, no, fucking no. Strongly disagree with you? But, well, I mean, that doesn't... Who cares? Yeah, no more fucking nukes. Like, I don't think... How do people not understand this? It's insane.
It seems to have been inactive. So the Israelis working through potentially parts of nuclear infrastructure that people accept are not actually a potential imminent usable threat right now, potentially removing things...
I don't think people understand the gravity of a nuclear weapon. No, yeah, people don't... They don't... Yeah, I think that, again... Well, let me just get through this.
Be a problem down the line and removing Iran's ability to pursue anything nuclear for decades. They appear also to have destroyed between a half and about 2/3 of Iran's missile launchers. So that takes out of the equation potentially the scale of the volleys that Iran can fire at Israel. What got through last night may have been a new type of device, may have been a particularly bad night for Israel's air defenses.
Who knows?
Injured at that hospital certainly too, and horrific scenes for the Israeli public to endure, but not a marked change in the sort of lethal casualties Iran was able to inflict on Israel. So Iran clearly working with a much reduced military capability here, and so that puts into question how long, frankly, Tehran can have this conflict go on not potentially experience some kind of existential crisis in its missile inventories, military infrastructure. It keeps being...
Or civilian sentiment, right? I mean, they might not like this either. I mean, eventually, a lot of the people there that don't even like the government, I mean, there's a chance they could have an uprising. I mean, what is the probability of that? I would say it's probably a low probability because it's extreme, but it's possible. And we have another... I will just pull this up real quick. You're supposed to, a future world dictated by Islam. Why would you even say that? It's not even what we're talking about at all. Like you're bringing up something that's totally different. Like why I don't know why people go and do something like that. It's weird. He's right though.
Impatient.
Not really. I mean, I think I made it pretty clear I'm not a religion enjoyer, right? Like I've made it super fucking clear.
Hit like this, and its political command. Becky, I should point out, in a week since this began, they're now on their third commander of the IRGC's ground forces, the Revolutionary Guard Corps. That's the pace in which new leaders are being taken out. Unimaginable, frankly, just a month ago. And so I think many eyes now look towards tomorrow and Geneva, where the European Union's E3, as they're known, UK, France and Germany, along with the EU Foreign Policy Chief, are meeting with Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Now, that may well be something which is an entire separate sideline. I was speaking to one Western diplomat who knows what's going on in those talks and said that they'd be happening in consultation with the United States. Indeed, David Lammy, the UK Foreign Secretary, I think is meeting with Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, just today, but described the talks as something which should be used to kind of feel the room and work out indeed what is possible. But I think it's possibly diplomacy here. However bad the deal Iran has to accede to is, that give them possibly a chance of slowing the Israeli onslaught, but ultimately with Israel having control of the skies over Iran and the ability to hit what it wants at will, why would they necessarily stop now? I think the weakness of Iran is what's going to, the dynamic that's going to dictate.
It's a breaking news. Just a second, sorry about this. Oh, this is, yeah, I guess I probably should watch this.
Just a short time ago, Israel's defense minister...
Give me 1 second. I'll go back and look at this. Sorry, I got distracted. So, the Jewish guys, I want to see inside the base. Yeah, and so anyway, if I go in and I think about this, I mean, let me finish.
Is what's going to, the dynamic that's going to dictate the duration of this.
Nick Payton will shift
I mean, they're stalling out with negotiations again. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a possibility. Iran could hit anything at will. They keep saying that. It's just not true. Do other Middle Eastern countries complain about not having nukes? Well, like one guy, I think like the guy in Saudi Arabia, MBS, the Crown Prince said that like, well, if Iran is going to make a nuke, then we have to make a nuke. And like, honestly, I understand that. Yeah, right? I mean, yeah, I totally see where he's coming from because Iran and Saudi Arabia don't get along. He did say it, yeah, and I get it. And so, like, is it a good thing? Because this is the problem, right? Is like as soon as you have one country that's doing it, now see, you got a domino effect. This is how it all goes down. This is the reason why you can't let that shit happen. That is the reason. Yeah, Israel doesn't have nukes though, buddy. I don't know if they do or not. Yeah, I have no idea if they do or not. I mean, if I had to guess if Israel had nukes or not, I would say they probably do. I think that they do. Now, I don't know that, but I would assume that. He didn't say if Israel has a nuke, they do. From a security perspective, Israel is surrounded by hostile states. Nuclear weapon can be a deterrent. If they do have nukes at all, there's pros and cons. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, we'll think about this, like, reasonably. If Israel used a nuclear bomb, Israel, like, everybody would be wanting the U.S. and whoever decided to do that to go up on, like, fucking war charges. I think that there is a global consensus, at least maybe from everything that I've seen, that nobody should use a nuclear bomb no matter what. And so, what do you think would happen if every country had nukes? I don't know, honestly. I have no idea. Why does the word buddy make a statement sound so aggressive? I don't know. Yeah, why would Americans care if Israel has a deterrent or not? Yeah, sure. Israel would not use a nuclear bomb unless they were going to be destroyed. Your logic doesn't hold. Yeah, but if Israel, like, am I crazy for saying I would rather have Israel be destroyed than have them fire off a bunch of nukes that could potentially destroy a huge area, contaminate the majority of the Middle East, kill millions more people, and also probably still get destroyed in the process? Like, I don't want to have I don't want that to happen at all. That's insane. You're reasonable. Yeah, I feel like so many people are idealistic with these types of things. The idealism, I think, is a huge weakness. It's a weakness that holds people back from being able to come from a solution at all. Iran's motive is not a deterrent, it's offensive. Well, it's both, right? I mean, it obviously is both. So, yeah, I wish none of us had nukes. Stuff is scary. Yeah, it is. I'll read a few more of these, but yeah, I mean, it seems like they probably can... It seems like they can probably hit the facility, and if they can't hit it with the first one, they're going to hit it with the second one. Apparently, this bomb can go through 200 meters of reinforced concrete. That's crazy. That's like 600 feet of concrete. And so, and this is built on a mountainside. So, yeah, I think that honestly, like, yeah, they're able to destroy it. So yeah, no offense, it's publicly known that Israel has nukes, estimated 90 nuclear warheads. Why do you give a fuck about the Middle East if it's none of our business then? If it's none of our business, let them nuke each other to hell. Well, I mean, let them nuke each other to hell. So the problem is that that's not what's going to happen. So, and this is the issue, right? And I've re-explained this like 5 times, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but, you know, there's going to be new people in the chat every day. People are going to have new opinions, etc. So I will repeat myself with this again before we get into this. So think about the issue that we have in the current conflict in Ukraine against Russia, and think about the fact that we can't use certain things and we can't be aggressive towards Russia in certain ways because of the fact that Russia has access to nuclear weapons. And because Russia has access to nuclear weapons, the amount of ways that we can negotiate with them and effectively, you know, deal with them are limited. And so because they have these things that effectively control our negotiating power, it is basically allowing them to attack Ukraine. I think that if Russia didn't have nuclear weapons, we probably would have seen the end of the Russia-Ukraine war years ago. But because they have such advanced technology and nuclear weapons and other types of capabilities, this creates a deterrent that allows them to do what they want. I think that the same thing will happen with Iran. I think that if Iran builds a nuclear weapon, Iran will use it in the exact same way. They probably will not use the nuclear weapon immediately, because then that would probably be signing their own death warrant. But what I think they would do is they would become more aggressive in the area. They would do more funding towards terrorist organizations. They would try to intercept more trade. They would fund more types of things that destabilize